now that the season's over, how do you get how has your shoulder been evaluated, and do you know if there will be a procedure or anything along those lines?
Yeah, I'll address it pretty soon. Try to nip it in the bud, get right away.
How much pain were you playing with throughout the playoffs?
Not much. Not much at that point.
Is there a sense that there was a lot left on the table because you were injured just around the locker room? Is there that sense that you guys could have gone much further?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Fact of the matter is, injuries is part of the game. It's what goes on during the game. I don't got no excuses for it. I was out there and I was able to compete. So, I was limited to a sense sometimes, but it didn't stop me from competing.
Stephen, not as an excuse, but just as a reality, if you could explain to us. Paul was hurt, was playing through it. He did miss some games, but however limited he was, how much did that limit you guys as a team?
I think any of the small details that you can think of, it probably more than likely affected the team in one way or another. You know what I mean? Butterfly effect almost, sort of thing, So, but again, it's still one of those things, like, obviously it ain't an excuse. If you say you're good enough to play, then you're still going to come out and play, and that's just rule of thumb across the board, mate. For you guys, if you say you're good enough to work, mate, you got to show up to meet the standard of what you're going to work at, And, that's just reality of it, regardless.
How it kind of shifted once you started dealing with the shoulder stuff. You're an MVP candidate, maybe the leader at that point. And do you look back on it? Are you disappointed? Are you frustrated? How do you kind of view how things kind of turned for you?
I just was frustrated. I think it came at a terrible time, especially the team was rolling, we was playing good. I was holding up pretty good. I just thought it came at the wrong time, honestly. But again, I've never made no excuses on it. I was dealing with it for a long time throughout the season. It just got worse and worse as it went on. But it is what it is. Again, I say it again. It's injuries is part of the game. I've missed the season being hurt, so I was able to. The training staff assured me I was fine to play through it, and I would be fine going forward. I had no other thought in my mind but to be out there and play and ride it out with my guys.
Is there a long time? Is that longer than the 2 months after you had to sit out those 3 games?
Yeah.
How early?
Not gonna say.
Since you obviously know more about it than we do you anticipate being ready for preseason next coming season?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure the exact timetable on it. Again, we're still trying to put a plan together on how to address it and, what needs to be done.
When you see the narrative about Russ, just who he is, how he interacts with people, some of it's negative out there. What is it about him that maybe the average person doesn't get or understand about Russ and who he is as a person from day to day?
I think Russ is honestly just as normal as anybody else. I think anything he does is just amplified. If anybody know Russ on a personal level, that he's as real as it gets. He's 100%. He's as pure as a person that you can find. If you watching him from afar, you might mistake that for him being a certain type of way. But honestly, man, he's one of the best human beings I've ever been a part of. I had a choice and a decision to go anywhere I wanted to in my career, and I chose to come back here. Come on now, you that says a lot on its own. What kind of person Russ is.
Does Russell ever make you cringe a little bit? Because I hear what you're saying, but sometimes he doesn't do himself any favors, it seems like, when he deals with us or, with certain places, but you know him better than that. Do you ever go, oh, Russ, you know, does he ever?
I mean, it's a tough position to be in because I know being around him, like, I know where it's coming from. Like, it just doesn't come off the right way, but I know where it's coming from. You know, he's a guy of principles, and you know, everything he does is all principles. You know, that's you know, he's going to take care of himself, and he's going to look out for himself. And that's what you got to love about him, to be honest.
What do you like about what you all did collectively as a group this year?
I thought, you know, we showed a lot of great and positive things this year. I thought as a group, and just my time, again, being here for another season, one of the closest teams I've been a part of still. You know, it's just a real brotherhood where, you know, you enjoy going out there with those guys. So I think that's a big positive going forward for this group is, you know, how close-knitted we are.
Well, one of the narratives of this season is you guys haven't shot the ball well enough. You were really good from three, but not enough other guys were. What kind of a critical need is that, do you think, to address the shooting, whether to get somebody else or for you guys to get better?
Well, I mean, you just look at it. JG wasn't a high-volume three-point shooter in his career. We, you know, asked him to shoot more threes this year, and, you know, he shot at a high percentage, but he'll get better with that now, knowing that's what we need from him. This is, you know, Ferguson's rookie season pretty much from playing and being on the court for a full season. He'll get better with shooting the ball. I mean, we'll, you know, we'll get better with that, I think, as time goes on. That's, you know, hopefully won't be the issue come next season.
Paul, we've talked plenty about Ferguson and his development throughout the season. What advice do you give a guy like him who's improved so much in season 2 to continue to do that in his third season?
I think same thing I had to approach and address going into like my third year. Third year for me was where I made the biggest jump from being a rotation guy to being a player. I think Ferg has to put pressure on Coach now to use him more, to use him in the offense. You know, I think that's what you want out of your young guys, is for them to put pressure on the coach to you know, increase his whether it's offense, defense, increase you know, his production out there. So he's got to have a big summer. He's got to work on a lot of stuff, work on a lot of, you know, just ball handling, pick and roll, shooting, defense. Because this is a pivotal year for young guys. Their third year. He's got to make a jump for us.
And what?
In the past, you think you taking a mid-range jumper or a three-point shot is a wasted possession, but is there a feeling that you have right now that you should be able to expand your game offensively at all, or is it still a wasted possession in your mind?
Well, yeah, it still is, because again, it's still my role to do what I'm doing, if that makes sense. Mid-range and three-pointers aren't in that. So I would say that it still is a thing. I could develop it, great. But then, you know, that's just for individual, you know, gain or whatever it is. Again, for the team, you still have to just focus on what you think what your role is. And I was really trying to just lock down on those things, you know. So, mate, if I get the word and they're like, hey, mate, jack a couple threes, and it's like, no worries, mate. Get in the gym. Yeah.
What do you want? What's your goals in the off season? I know you just finished up, but what do you want to work on this summer and back to next
Got a little
season?
segue, mate. Free throws. Yeah. There you go, mate. Good question. Yeah. Follow.
Was the team in a good place internally through those trials? Were you guys still together? And was the locker room good? Those sorts of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, sticking together and all that. And again, like you always got to go in there and just try and figure out a solution. Everyone's trying to do the right thing. Everyone, especially that's what's good with type of players we have. It's good from Sam's part too. They're good locker room guys, you know. And when they go out there, they ain't trying to be selfish. They ain't trying to do bad or whatever. They're really actually trying to like represent Oklahoma quite well, you know. So then they, you know, go out there and try and play with a really good mindset and try and figure out how we're going to win, as opposed to like how I'm going to get mine. We don't have that problem at all, which is nice, you know. It's good.